own definition internally about it, but like
This is the discussion then.
I'm just annoyed because I know you're gonna steal mine, especially because it's. I mean, you have it on the front cover of the thumbnail.
user experience.
Oh, and your life.
Okay, yeah. Like I would say, for instance, like Fire Emblem Engage has awful UX, but its UI is perfectly serviceable.
Huh. Wait, how do you? Hmm. How do you differ? Well, we'll probably talk about it later. UX versus UI. Huh.
If you want me to differentiate, I can. Mhm. Yeah, you, in my mind, UI is about like the presentation of information, and UX is about the actual like accessibility of that information.
I don't know if I should be on this discussion just because I don't have anything added in, and I'm just feeling already out of my depth.
I mean, I didn't have time to really think about it too much, other than Lizzie did mention it, and two games immediately pop in my head, which of course I know you already had one up in there because it's probably the first one everyone thinks of at this point. Okay.
Yeah, I'm finishing up a thing, but then I can throw one or two in as well.
I'll probably think of some mid discussion.
What about now,
but,
Kamizite? Also, I hope you've learned a valuable lesson about you and bits, that the fact that you have to tell us it's a bit or not.
That is an issue.
This isn't a bit as Kami's safe word.
Oh gosh.
It kind of is, though. Jeez. All right. Well, let's get started. What episode is this again? Where did I put that?
205,087.
It is definitely not that.
3.
87. All right. Perfect. Oh, and I didn't put out an alert. Good job, me.
The green what?
Wait, dang it. All right, there we go. Now I got it.
Silly me.
All right.
Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, I speak Spanish and I don't know that word because they don't have those.
I was going to say that one probably didn't come up that much on the mission.
No.
Well, and raccoons and coyotes would compete for resources, and coyotes kind of got them beat in that regard, going south of the border.
Yeah, I don't think there's too many raccoons on the equator.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Let's get this started. Here we go. There's only one game I have ever played specifically just because the UI impressed me enough. And it's because this game has actually got an insane amount of systems, yet is somehow able to present all that information in a digestible way and a very stylish way. It's Persona 5. Today on episode 87, I think we overleveled. We are talking about games with awesome user interfaces. And it was a topic that, as I started thinking about it, I found it very interesting how what I consider an amazing user interface for one game is not going to be good for another. Because for this Persona 5 example, this is a very, very noisy user interface. But they do a good job of breaking it down as you go through menus to where you don't feel like you're just navigating menus the whole time. As you can tell by the fact how quickly this guy in this gameplay is just moving through the menu. It becomes second nature. Lunisar, you are one of the biggest Persona fans I know. What do you want to say about this?
Well, the thing is for me, I actually, I didn't just start at Persona 5, right?
Yeah.
I played Persona 3 and I played Persona 4. I mean, technically I played the first Persona as well, but that was not part of the, I guess, quadrilogy, I'm going to call it now, because there was a specific person that kind of took charge of the Persona game starting with 3, and he did 3, 4, and 5, and then he wanted to do his own project, which I'll talk about that a little later. But I thought all of those games had a great presentation. They all had great UIs, but you could see an evolution going from 3 to 4 to 5. 3, he wanted to have the big theme be blue, right? He wanted the game to just feel blue in every way, which, I mean, he kind of went to the extreme with the Melancholia that when you summon the persona to have it use a spell, it would...
Yeah.
He had evokers where, they look like pew-pews that they put up to their heads.
Yeah.
That got
We're still in the first 15 minutes. Let's be careful.
Yes, but in Persona 4, they changed it to be wearing glasses to see the shadows in the Shadow Realm. And of course, 5, they made masks. But 4, they amped up the UI a lot, where they were going for yellow in that one. So everything's kind of yellow and golden looking, and there's a lot of they have a lot of tarot cards, but they did nice rotate angles just a little bit to have a lot of different variety on the screen with the menus and a nice flow. And then came Persona 5, which Persona 5, the UI, I mean, I don't think this game has been topped for an amazing presentation UI yet. Even his following project, which still has a great UI, I don't feel like it quite captures everything that made Persona 5's great. Persona 5 was so over the top that I spent the first 10, 15 minutes of just putting that, loading up the game for the first time, just messing around in the title screen menu.
Yeah. Well, so this is the thing that impresses me about Persona 5. So it's stylish. Like we saw how it pops out the map with, this cool, circle expanding out. But it does a lot of very simple things with the UI that are still stylish. Like here on the map, I like how it shows the steps of behind your character, so you get an idea of where you've walked from to where you are now, to give you just really communicate that space. And
yeah,
it
keeps you from getting lost, makes it very easy to understand. Which, I mean, that is something that is true in Persona 3, 4, and 5 and Metaphor, is just looking at the map. The map looks really simple, even though when you're in game, the environments look really complicated. They're really good at making a very simple space, geometrically, be very visually busy and full and lived in. There's so much to see, and so it looks like you're in a labyrinth, but when you pull up the map, you're like, oh, this isn't this complicated of a labyrinth. And I think that's a really important balance that they just have mastered slowly over time. Because old games, dungeons were so labyrinthine, it was easy to get lost. And and that extra communication of the steps behind you do a lot to really show that. So yeah, I mean, the menus, the battle menus, just every single menu in this game is just really well thought out and really well implemented.
Yeah,
And
for a game that has a lot of very in-depth systems in it, it does a good job of communicating them. And part of it is they don't tend to show you everything all at once. They they tend to have it flow out in sort of a radial design, especially in combat, that I really like. And so, but for example, so this is really good for this style of game, but I want to go to the other extreme and make it very, very simple. Where did I put that? I swear I put, here it is. Portal. Specifically Portal 2. Because there is absolutely no information that is really being communicated except for what portals you have or haven't shot. In Portal 2, in the co-op mode, you have one, because normally you have the orange portal and the blue portal. Well, in the co-op mode, that would get really confusing. So instead, they had one who has sort of a purple and blue, and the other one that has an orange and yellow. And you just have a very simple overlay that shows which portals you have or have not shot. And it is that simple.
Mm-hmm.
And this, like, a very busy overlay would be bad for Portal, but was good for Persona 5.
The overlay isn't which you have and haven't shot. It just shows which one you shot last.
No, it shows you. So the reticle is just all it is around the reticle.
Oh, the reticle. Sorry, I was thinking about
Yeah.
on the gun itself.
Yeah. And so it's just on the little reticle around it.
Simple.
That's simple. It's all the information. It's a game. There's no ammo. There's no life. It's it's that simple. You don't need to. Which there actually is a life counter. If you're getting shot by bullets and stuff, but they just communicate that with red damage that increasingly gets bigger until you step away. So it's just the standard, of this era. You regenerate health instantly, essentially, as long as you're not taking damage. But it just solves the problem.
Which makes sense for a game like this that's more puzzle oriented than combat oriented.
Yeah. And so it's just, I love, again, we're just talking about great UIs, understand what game they're in. And I think this is another great UI, even though it is on the other end of the spectrum. But yeah. Mithril, did you have any games you wanted to bring up?
Can I take a minute first?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
I'm not in a point to.
Okay, well, we were talking about Persona. Yeah. I think Lunasar can talk about this at the drop of a hat. Let's go to Metaphor.
Yeah. All right. I have to mute it every time for some reason.
That's weird.
All right.
I just mute the tab.
Okay. Yeah, I should probably do that because that's really distracting and disoriented every time. But as you see, Metaphor ReFantasio is, it's the next Persona game, but it's in a fantasy setting. And so instead of being focused on just one color scheme, they want to make it more of a fantasy storybook aesthetic. And they do a pretty good job of it. But it's also got a lot of almost everything that Persona 5 had going for it. For example, the really flashy victory screen, right? Because Persona 5 often had that little zigzag go in and they strike a pose, or you're writing in this one. This one, the victory screen kind of has the, in movies where they do the slow motion where the explosion's behind you. Mm-hmm. They're doing the awesome cool walk. That's kind of the victory screen has your party kind of walking towards the camera while it's got, kind of that flashy zigzag from Persona 5 go behind you. And, I do think Persona 5's overall is kind of flashier and just overall cooler, because I love how Persona 5, they kind of incorporated how they're using their cell phones, whether it be communicating with each other, and they kind of use that as the interface of a lot of things, like how they incorporated an in-game element into the UI in Persona 5. This game doesn't quite have that, But there are a few things it does that Persona 5 did not. One that I greatly appreciate is so you have a fairy companion in this game, and when you hold down, I want to say the L3 button, it pulses out what's called the Fey sight. And when you do the Fey sight, it lets you see what enemies are there, if they're stronger or weaker. And once you level it up through social links, like in Persona 5, you can eventually see which enemies are even going to be in that encounter. And so you could prepare before you even go into the encounter. And see, here's the level up screen. It's got that very Persona-esque look to it. And one thing that's really neat is the face sight also works in town, where you can see, oh, in the town, I've already talked to this person, because they're kind of grayed out. But if you do the face sight, even if they're like way at the far end of the render distance, you could see a little outline glow of, hey, I haven't talked to this NPC and they have something new to say.
No, that's especially in an RPG, that's really, really good.
Yeah, that's really good in RPG because, I mean, this game, you can just hold down the face sight. It's not L3, I think it's L2. I don't know. I muscle memories, right? When I try to say it, I can't remember exactly. But you can just see and run quickly to see, okay, who's someone new to talk to. Which Persona, the other Persona games didn't have that, because you could still just keep endlessly talking to the same people, whereas this one, they wanted to cut down on that. That was actually something I first saw a feature in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, where it made it clear that, oh, this person has new dialogue that you haven't seen before, as opposed to the ones you've already talked to. But in this one, I really liked how they incorporated your fairy companion that uses her special sense to, tell you where treasures are and who to talk to and what the enemies are, and see some other various things. So it's like a lot of things to portray a lot of information very quickly and do it in a very stylistic fashion. And that's something that the Persona team is just incredibly successful at. And also the way the battle menus work. Because as you point out, this one also has the, you can choose very quickly whether you're going to cast a spell, melee attack, just because it's got that radial that matches the layout of your controller. And you get very, very quick at menuing through that in a way that even some of my favorite Final Fantasy games on the Super Nintendo didn't come close to. And they just did an excellent job. And one thing they also added in Metaphor that I do not believe was the case in Persona 5 unless they added it to Royal is, you'll notice right there it says log L3. If you press down L3 in the middle of conversation, it'll bring up a dialogue, a log of like the last, 20 dialogues that went by. And if there was voice acting, you could actually menu up to it, press X, and it'll play the sound, the voice line sound again for it.
Oh, wow.
If you wanted to. So it's like, I thought that was just a really cool quality of life UI touch that they added, which is really nice for a game that's heavy in a lot of dialogue and heavy with voice acting.
Yeah.
To be able to review a good chunk of it going back for a while. I mean, it's a limitation on how much, but it's a feature that's very nice and very appreciated.
Yeah. All this talk makes me think of I could be wrong on this because I am not a storied in the RPG genre, but I feel Super Mario RPG was kind of the first of these RPGs to kind of have that radial combat menu.
Yeah, I do. I can't think of one that was before this, because that actually I thought was, when I first played this when it was a new game, I thought that was really unique as well. I know I can think of other games that did it, but I think they were PS1 games, and I think they were inspired by Super Mario RPG. So yeah, I think you might be right. Someone could possibly prove me wrong. Either way, this is certainly one of the first and certainly the most famous of the early ones to do that.
Yeah, because that was something that made it, because I didn't play RPGs before this one, really. Pokemon, but that's just a traditional menu that you just hit up or down on. Whereas this takes full advantage of hey, we have a D-pad and these 4 buttons. Maybe we should use them in an interesting
Yeah,
way.
and anything that kind of cuts down on extra menuing is a massive improvement on just the way the game flows and feels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
UI is just,
Oh, definitely.
I think UI is especially important in RPGs just by their turn-based nature.
Oh yeah, yeah, agreed.
But
I can follow up on
Okay.
that idea of like
I'm just thinking that just really quick, the the early
No, it's
RPGs that couldn't remember what your last input was, like, oh, what's the last spell? And you had to scroll through all the spells every time.
single time.
Yeah, it was a huge improvement when they started putting memory of the last option you chose.
Or even the ability to like reorder spells, because oftentimes it'd be like, okay, the last one you got is the very bottom of the list and it starts at the top every time, but you want to keep casting the last one because it's the final boss, and you know, it just
And in that case, even like the simple things of being able to press up at the top of the menu to go down to the bottom of the menu makes a huge difference.
yeah.
Man, I haven't even thought about that. Yeah, no.
But yeah, something to carry in on, if you don't mind, of that.
Go right ahead.
That idea of like accessibility of information. I forget exactly how you said it, but how hard it is or how long it takes to get to the information you want. A game I wanted to point out that has, and I guess I want to talk a little bit about the difference between UI and UX of like Fire Emblem Engage. I can't pull up a video of it right now, but it's a very interesting game because I think the UI is fine. There's nothing that's like particularly wrong about it. The menus work, they're functional. You can read them. There's no like super weirdness or oddness going there. But the information that's been stripped down and the the location of that information and difficulty of getting to it is incredibly annoying. Like
Annoying
for
how?
instance, for instance, I mean, you've played Awakening at least, so you'll be able to understand some of this. Was weapon weight in Awakening, or does that not?
I don't remember having to deal with weight at all.
I think that it might not have been there, but
no,
but
it
like
did because it affected your the heavier weapons. You were less likely to get a double hit. That was the main thing it did in Awakening.
yeah. I just forget if they did that via like an over the top like adjustment of it, or if it was actually weight, or if it was one of the few games when weight doesn't exist. You know, they've done a lot of that.
If it
but, like,
was
weapons,
there, it wasn't in a way that I noticed it.
Fair enough. Weapon stats, including weight, but also weapon might, weapon power. Oftentimes, you'll want to be able to check, you know, what a weapon stats are individually and uniquely, and like, okay, cool. Will equipping this weapon, especially if the enemy is equipping it, because I'm saying this very poorly. In Fire Emblem Engage, you can view weapon stats directly, like just the weapon, only at base, not on the field, not during a map.
Oh, well, that's a problem.
You can see what the weapon stats are based on. You can see what your stat changes will be if you equip the weapon. And then you can do some math to figure out what a weapon stats are. But you can't just view the raw stats of a weapon on a map. Why? I don't know. Yeah. They decided to strip that out. It's pretty important to be able to do that.
You describing that?
Like, hey.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you describing that, it reminds me a lot of like all the hidden mechanics of Pokemon. Where
there are some elements of that, yeah.
Where there's just all this stuff that if you don't know about the hidden mechanics, the game's not going to tell you about it. There's nothing in game to communicate that any of this stuff exists. And it's just sort of like, you deal with it. That's your problem.
Like the secret. It's like the secret menu at In-N-Out.
Yeah.
Little bit. It's like I'd like to order my Pokemon with 31 all IVs, please.
Animal style. What's its nature?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I don't know.
You mean Pokemon style?
Hey. But yeah, and so it's just one of those things that when a game has these, it's one thing for a game to have hidden mechanics that are like a bonus. It's another thing to have things that are like core to how things actually play and you have no idea. And the community has to figure all this stuff out behind the scenes.
And I think it's a third thing when you're in a long-running series and you've done such a good job at displaying that information to suddenly, 17 games in, just not have it accessible anymore. It's like, this is
probably
why...
not important.
It's like, this is one of the hard things about going back to, like, Fire Emblem 1, is that you can't view weapon stats at all in that game. That's one of the frustrating elements. That's not one of the elements that made the game good. Why are we going back to that in Engage?
Engage was just rough. I wanted to like it so much, and it was just...
Engage had so many things that had they just pursued them for what they were, would have been a great game. But it felt like there were like 3 different game ideas all going in at about 50% with no cohesive vision on how to make them work together.
I've said many times, one of the cardinal sins that a game developer could commit is to make a game or a system that's almost good. Because all you're doing is showing them what they could have had and not giving it to them.
Totally. Especially when it's like, hey, here's a lot of other games that have this and are good. It's like, for instance, with Stormgate. One of the worst things that Stormgate did was be so close to StarCraft 2 that a lot of people were just like, why am I not just playing StarCraft 2 again?
Okay. Sorry, my curse just happened. I just learned of Stormgate literally 40 minutes ago. Never heard of it before, and
now it's brought up again.
Now it's brought up again.
I mean, that's the problem. You don't actually need to hear of it anymore. It's not good.
It's because you're the main character, Looney. You learn of things, and everything's kind of swirls around. You're a Taviran.
Okay, that must be it. Okay.
Okay, I see someone added Aperture Desk Job to this.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good call.
Yes.
Who did that?
That is
I
great.
That.
Well, let's.
Have you played it before?
I have not.
Have you played that?
I have not. Looney's called for the ball. What do you got?
Okay. So here's the UI right there. It's your desk, which is made to look like your Steam Deck. It's mapped 1-to-1 with your Steam Deck. What you touch on the Steam Deck happens on
because this game is basically the tutorial for the demo.
It's the Steam Deck tech demo.
It's so good though.
And so, yeah, I just love how you push stuff on there and it happens on the screen. So, and here where you're testing it, it kind of has the buttons, but just everything about that. There's even a point where it shows like the gyroscope, and as you move it, it changes the gyroscope on your desk.
Nope.
So, Aperture Desk Job, to teach you what the Steam Deck is, made the UI be the Steam Deck itself and be represented on the screen. And I thought that was so clever.
Jordan, you need to play this. Like it's not long, so it's like it'll take you like an hour or two?
Half hour. It's a half hour.
Even a half hour?
Yeah, just a half hour.
For some reason I thought maybe I just sort of got ADHD'd and set it aside and came back.
No, it's a half hour long game.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah, I've never actually taken a good long look at this.
You should. I think you'll really like it.
Okay.
And this is an excellent choice for a great UI.
Yeah. I mean, it teaches you how to use the Steam Deck, and I love that.
Uh-huh.
Well, especially if your goal Nintendo, is to get people to interact with the entire system that you've gotten them to purchase.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And Switch 2 is an absolute failure with theirs. Yeah. Because who would buy it? Who would spend $10 on that?
Yeah.
I know no one.
Well,
Yeah,
but
that's the sort of game that should come free. This one came free. What's the Astro's Playroom came free.
Wii
Sports came free. Yes.
not in Japan.
Really?
Reggie
apparently was
Reggie had to fight for that.
Good call on Reggie. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Made the Wii into the top seller. It was the Wii Sports machine for so many people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's one of those
Nintendo Land should have come free.
Yeah. But it's just one of those things that it never will there ever be another executive quite like Reggie, because in so many ways but he came from outside of video games. He wasn't a video game executive. He came from frickin' Pizza Hut. And
yeah, he's currently defending their never discount your games thing right now, though. So I'm a little miffed with him. So
nobody out pizzas the Hut.
True. Was it Pizza Hut or maybe, I don't know. It was some pizza company. But it's just he understood his market better than the other executives.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No individual's perfect. No one can have like the best takes all the time. But it is one of those things where it's like that clearly, definitively was a very good understanding of marketing and understanding of consumer behavior.
Absolutely. No, I'm mostly annoyed because it's the current. It's recent, so I'm just recency bias. Yeah. But but no, it absolutely was the right call.
Yeah, this is good. Another one that this is a specific era for a specific developer. Blizzard before the fall had really good UI, and Heroes of the Storm to me is still one of those big what if games. Like what if this thing had come out a few years earlier when MOBA wasn't completely saturated. But
when they weren't trying to catch up, if they had actually been in the game.
Yeah. And I will admit, watching Stargate SG-1 and John Delancey shows up, and I immediately think of Heroes of the Storm because he voiced Artanis, right?
No, Alarak.
Alarak, yeah.
You just think all Protoss look the same, don't you?
Wait, John Delancey was in SG-1? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, he was one of the evil colonels trying to get stuff.
Okay, that's right. It's I need to do another rewatch. Not another. I do a rewatch.
Man, John Delancey playing a villain. That's weird.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
The thing is, with John Delancey, though, you can tell he's always the guy having the most fun in the room. And so you just want to watch him, even if you hate the character. Even if you hate the aims of the character, you still love the character.
It's the whole. I just want to see people who enjoy doing their job.
I mean, I played Quantum Conundrum.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he was in Quantum Conundrum. He was the uncle, right?
The man could chew the scenery even if he's not on screen.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, just seeing him in the first game I thought of was this game because I did enjoy playing it. I did.
Yeah, and
I mostly played as Protoss, all the Protoss.
Yeah, but I feel like the UI did a good job of really communicating what your spells do. I feel like there was very little hidden mechanics with when you picked something. There was some because there's always some niche interactions with certain people's abilities when you have this many characters. But I never felt like, what just happened? I don't understand what that move was. Just because everything visually communicates itself very well. And especially your skill shots.
And overall, it probably contributed to it, but this game felt so much more approachable than Dota or League of Legends.
Yeah.
I mean, part of it is because it hadn't been overtaken by tryhards, but the UI probably had a big impact on that too.
Yeah, well, and getting to learn.
There was a amount of information to learn. Dota and League of Legends, especially if you try to jump in after the first like year or two, just the number of heroes plus the number of items plus the number of like interactions between combinations.
The need of a shop really complicates those games.
The knowledge wall is insane.
I mean, I was just glad to be able to try out a MOBA because I figured that's something I'd always liked because my favorite StarCraft custom maps were always the ones where you had like one super unit, and there were ones where like you'd level up a super unit and you'd be spawning units that just kept swarming towards the other enemy, and those were always my favorite custom maps. But I don't know, I never got into MOBAs. I don't know, largely because I was too terrified to get into a place that was super over-the-top competitive. But this was like the perfect game to get into that, where I could just have fun. Just like those old StarCraft days.
Yeah.
Well, and it's, I love Part of the Swarm, or Heroes of the Storm. Both are good.
Yeah. But part of this era that I thought had really good UI, Hearthstone.
It made static cards very expressive.
Hearthstone, the reason, not the reason, but one of the reasons why Hearthstone lived and the 10 different other virtual card games that all came out within the 3 years of Hearthstone died is that no one could compete with Hearthstone's UI.
Absolutely. It just felt good to play.
What about scrolls?
Even just the fact that you can click on the dirt, the fact that you can click on the dirt and it does a little poof.
Yeah.
There's something satisfying about that. So when you're waiting for the other person to play, there's stuff to click on, and it's made for an ADHD player to.
Okay, just watching this video, I want to click on the gem. I want to click on the gem and that statue.
Yep, you got to knock it out.
Every card having an animation, every card having a voice line, everything popping up and being like, this is what just happened.
And then you throw in the golden versions, and they're actually are like ongoing looping animations.
Mm-hmm. And it's one of the things where it's like, I look at Magic Arena and it's not bad, but and Magic Arena is a huge step up from Magic Online. But I feel like Magic Arena is only surviving because of its Magic the Gathering. Well, and whereas Hearthstone is like, sure, there was a World of Warcraft card game, but it's surviving, it's keeping players in ways that you think, it's only because it's a big studio. Elder Scrolls Legends was a thing for a little bit. RuneScape, Jagex had a card game, RuneScape Legends.
Hey, I glaze Valve frequently. Artifact.
But
Artifact, exactly.
But for example, you got to look at just all the information that you're getting right here and how compact it is. When it had taunt, the enemy has that shield around it. You immediately know what's going on there. When you put when you freeze something, you can tell A, it's frozen, and B, it just looks like that thing's not going anywhere. So you're like, oh, he can't move. The fact that this attack number over the boar is green, it's like, oh, that's higher than it normally would be. When they're damaged, it's red. You're like, oh, that's not its max. It's intuitive.
And you're going to hate me for saying this. It was designed well with mobile in mind.
Absolutely.
Whilst also being designed effectively as a PC client game.
I agree.
In fact,
you're not going to hate me for saying that, but
a lot of games, that's their downfall. They focus too much on mobile, and then it becomes unusable on PC, and then people hate it. But
not to beat the ever-living dead horse of Diablo Immortal, but that is just straight up a mobile game that happened to have a PC port.
It's their fault for making that horse and putting it there.
It didn't happen to have a PC port. It was a mobile game, and people were just like, I don't want to play it on mobile. I don't want to play it on mobile. And they said, here's the PC version. And it's just like,
Mhm.
this is not a PC. Like, it's just the mobile version on a PC.
Yeah. Even down to the tap of the screen to continue.
But like, Hearthstone was, I mean, it was desktop developed, and then they added the mobile version later, but they did a good job with it.
Yeah.
Well, it's because they removed the things that didn't need to be there, whilst not
Mhm.
losing the information they needed to be there. Well, and the other thing
But
that
again, the information that they give so simply, like the minions that are green, I can move those. Anything you can do has this green aura around it. It's just so much information in such a tight space, which is why it worked on mobile, because they don't have this wall of info.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just one of these things that it makes you like, I don't know who's in charge of these things need to, be this way, but they just did a good job of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but right now we've mostly been focusing on turn-based games. This is going to be a weird one I want to bring up that maybe doesn't qualify as UI, as more UX. But I want to discuss Mirror's Edge.
Okay.
Because in many ways, you have no resources. The whole point is just to get from point A to point B. And all it has is something that we kind of make fun of now because it's the precursor to yellow paint, right?
Yes,
Runner
it was
vision.
the original yellow paint.
But at the same time, that's what this game is built for.
Yes, that's the thing. No one's mad at this game for doing it. In fact, this game would be terrible without it. It was designed for this game. It was not designed for the other games that started using it after it.
Most other games use it to dumb it down. This is just to make it playable.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and it builds off the height of parkour, so it's just you got to get here creatively. Well, trying to do that in an actual open space wouldn't really work. And so you got to guide the player's eye, and they do it so unobtrusively. Now, I tried to play this and my computer could not handle it because someone shot some glass, and this was too far ahead of its time in terms of that.
Yep.
That, and also in this case, just because you see it's parkourable, that's not like, oh, this is the one path, and if you do this way, you're guaranteed to succeed. There's still a challenge with it. This one just kind of gives you an idea of, oh, what is something that could potentially work?
This is interactable.
Yeah.
Rather than this is the way you have to go, this is something that you can do something with if you choose to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in for the most part, there's not like too many viable paths, but I feel like it's less, oh, here is a dotted line that you follow, like in Horizon Zero Dawn, for example.
Mm-hmm. The breadcrumbs.
And yeah, there are
like
ways
the literal handholds that are, you have to follow this line.
There are ways to do it that are more or less obtrusive, that are more or less in world as well, even when it is an outside developer edition. The one that I go to all the time is in the modern Doom games, the modern Doom trilogy. Green lights. If something has green lights on it, odds are good that either you can make a jump to it if you jump from the proper location, or it is like gently directing you towards, hey, this is the way to go once you've cleared the arena. But not like some things are just kind of green lit for the sake of it's green lit in the background and it makes sense to. And not everything that you can jump to or that even is green lit. Green lights will put you to the main path, but you can still jump to other stuff to find secrets and whatnot.
It's something to draw your eye without telling you this is where you go.
Yeah. Yeah, like I didn't even process that that's what it was doing until like my second replay through, and I'm like, oh, hey, all these things are lit at green lights. That's cool.
Well, and then on top of it,
kind of it.
Just this I'm going to bring this up because it's similar. They do a good job in the Doom series of your HUD for Doom Guy feels like this could actually be the HUD for the character themselves.
Yes. Something similar. I've been playing through. I don't have a video up for it, but I've been playing through Pragmata lately, and one of the ways that you find the pickups and stuff is the character sends out a scan pulse, and it shows up on his HUD. And it's just like, that makes sense. He sees this. This isn't just, something that I see as a player. This is something that the character sees.
Yeah. So a similar Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
You said in-visor HUD, and I was thinking Metroid Prime.
Absolutely.
Well, and so you can see like
the scan visor and the different types of visor.
Similar to Persona, this is actually a very, very busy overlay, but you'll notice when it's time for mobility, it all goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like how simple that is, because, all right, it's now time for Morph Ball stuff. We're not going to try and keep her in her HUD anymore, because that would be counter to what we need. But
that would make our players vomit.
Well, yeah, definitely that. And then using the scan visor to be able to communicate information, the different visors to be able to give different information, but it's all done. I think the word's diegetically, I think is the term, where it fits in this. It's when I know in film, it's one of them is diegetic, one's non-diegetic, and I can never remember which it is.
Diegetic is when something is happening in universe.
Okay.
Like someone is playing the piano and that's the music you hear. That's diegetic sound. Non-diegetic sound is, they're playing a soundtrack over this scene.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite uses of that in video games is most of the music in Ocarina of Time is non-diegetic, but then you start ascending Ganondorf's tower, and then when you get into the room, he stops playing the organ. And it's like, oh my goodness, it was him the whole time.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Actually, Metaphor kind of does that very subtly. Well, the fairy at the very beginning of the game, it's silent, and then the fairy says, "Oh, here, let me use a magic spell to give you some music," and then it starts playing, and then the music's playing the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
So it's kind of those make it diegetic when they didn't have to sort of things.
Yeah. Suikoden does it as well in the first couple of games. There's an organ and a vampire and drama.
That sounds like a very weird Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe spinoff.
Vampire and the organ and
it's by G5 Lewis.
Ooh, that's good. I like that.
Oh gosh,
nice. That's not going to hit a lot of people, but the people who do get that joke, that's going to be good. But keeping it in terms of the FPS genre, similar but not quite the same is Halo.
I was thinking Halo with the ammo counter on the rifle.
Yeah, that's kind of also reminds me. Didn't Dead Space do something like that too?
Dead Space is definitely what we're going to be talking about. I thought I had a video for that. Where is that?
Gotta have your spine juice.
Did I not have that? All right, I gotta go find Dead. Okay, I
swear
I did.
About the Needler?
No, I was talking Dead Space. But anyway, okay, this is a bad example of UI because you have infinite ammo in that scene.
But the Needler gun is the one where it's got like a bunch of crystals growing on the gun, right?
And
the more ammo you have,
they disappear because you fire them.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the one I was looking for.
There it is.
So the battle
rifle, isn't it?
Yeah, so the assault rifle also, oh man, this part, okay, I'm glad I came to this part. But yeah, the assault rifle, it's literally just on the gun in a way that makes sense for a futuristic Marine to have. And it's just like, even though
Yep.
your actual ammo's in the upper left and that's your HUD, it's just, I
But
But then
like
that
it's so
these.
clip
much more
though.
readable.
Yeah, it's right there. Well, and it's one of those just little things that adds realism to the situation. It's just, I like it. It's good. It's just a simple thing. All right, I gotta go find Dead Space. Someone put Moonbreaker in here. Go ahead.
Oh, that's one that I put in. It's just I haven't played it that much, but it's this game that Brandon Sanderson actually did the world building for, and it's a miniatures game, but like it was built in like there is no physical version of this game. It was just it's a miniatures game that they built a game around, and it plays like it's sort of like how Hearthstone. It just feels like you're actually playing a physical card game. It moves like that to the point where you can actually even there's a on the menu you can go in and paint your miniatures and customize them, and it just feels good. It feels natural. Like this isn't my genre of game, but I bought it just because it was like this just looks cool.
Do you know if anywhere in here it has that? Because that was the UI that impressed me the most.
I do not know. I can look.
But no, like I messed with oh, here we are. I found one.
Okay.
And so, oh, whoever did it just showed it briefly. Anyway,
I think I may have
Oh,
I think
you
I may
moved
have
it?
clicked off after you clicked.
Gotcha.
So if you found one, go back and
Yeah,
try looking again.
let's see. Oh, here we go. And
So
so,
like you can actually go in and detailed personalize your miniatures.
yeah, well, and they did such that it's like
Oh,
here's
you
your
can mix colors.
You
Oh,
can
goodness.
mix colors. You have wash, dry brush, airbrush, so you can change how these things, how your brushes work. And it was
It's
pretty.
actually very robust.
Yeah, it was very intuitive as well. And it's one of those things that I'm like, man, that I don't know who like I don't think this game's gonna take off, but I have a feeling this company might be able to make money on
Selling this interface.
Yeah, selling the interface. Just one of those things where it's just like that's pretty dang
like
good.
if you have a 3D scanner, you can scan in your minis and then paint them digitally.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just very well done. I am a fan.
Again, not my genre of game at all, but I'm still very impressed.
Yeah, it was just good. Again, good UI. So I brought up Dead Space. I finally got. Oh, but I forgot to bring it in here. Good job, me. So Dead Space is often held up as one of the absolute pinnacles of minimalist user interface. And the reason for it is simple. That bar on your back, that's your life bar.
All right.
Like it's just in game right there. So there's no overlay. Your aiming reticle, it's literally your guns literally point light in that direction.
Okay, so it's a laser sight.
Yeah. And so it just everything is shown in the window. You have no HUD whatsoever. Yet they're able to communicate the information simply. Like this is not my style of game, but it is so well done in terms of just trying to be very minimalist and in a horror genre game where the whole point is to make you feel like you're in the space, you're in danger. That's really
fully
good.
Diegetic.
Yeah, because you're there. 100%, it's all you. And it's so brilliant.
People made the funny analysis of like, yeah, sure, it's all on your suit and everything, but it also is like it's in a place where you couldn't look at it yourself if you
No.
were in the suit,
Oh,
but
yeah, of course not. Well, and the thing is, as if your life would be tied to, again, how much spinal juice you have.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's definitely something that's not...
And it looks like your ammo's done kind of like that Halo example.
Yeah.
It's on the gun as he holds it up.
Mm-hmm. When he gets a phone call, it brings up a screen that he is looking at. It's right in front of him. Again, it's just... I love crap like this. Like, this is where you can tell the developers really ask themselves a lot of questions of how do we communicate this in the most efficient way possible? Because that's how we're gonna sell this. Well, fantasy is the wrong word, but this experience.
Sell the fiction of the experience.
Yeah. Yeah, because this is no one's fantasy. This is terrifying. But no, this is often held up as one of the bigger ones. Someone put Twilight Princess on here.
Yes, and I specifically chose... Well, I could have chose both versions of the game, but I specifically chose the Wii version because I found it interesting, because this was a launch title for the Wii. Like, it came out on the GameCube and the Wii at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was interesting how to kind of teach you how to play the game. They made the UI have the... I mean, he hit it, but as you can see, it's the layout of the Wiimote itself.
Oh, interesting.
And so you just look on the screen, and you immediately know what button you're supposed to push in order to do the action.
Because it's
and they followed that even in Skyward Sword.
That was Ocarina of Time even had, like, the buttons were color coded to match the.
Yeah, that's true.
And the C buttons were how you controlled your extra
in that layout.
Huh?
I've never laid out.
Yeah, I've never thought about that as a feature of the Legend of Zelda games. But yeah,
all the 3D Zeldas have it.
Every Zelda game, Wind Waker has it. Twilight Princess GameCube has it with the angled arc of like LRZ.
Yeah, where it actually, like, the GameCube, like, shoulder buttons where they're like curved. It had the curve on there, and even on the Switch.
I never considered this.
Oh my goodness, Breath of the Wild even kind of had that layout of, here's the the way the buttons look on the Switch. This is how you do stuff.
Right.
Man, yeah.
I mean, to a degree, it kind of pulls you out of the game because it's like, it's kind of anachronistic, but you knew how to play it immediately as soon as you saw it. Like, you never had to be taught, press this button.
Well, and after you do it for a little bit, it kind of fades away. Like, you just don't really notice it anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a simple thing, but it kind of taught you how to play the game without telling you how to play the game. And it was purely done via UI choice.
Yeah, well, and then another one that was sort of like that, dang it, where was it? Where it just sort of taught, like, you could just see the information pretty quickly. I was always impressed with the UI in Assassin's Creed 2.
Well, they taught you the UI as a newborn baby. Do you remember at the very beginning of the game?
Oh gosh, yes.
Where it's like, press triangle to move your head, press square to move your arms,
which made
press
sense
X
because
to kick your feet.
Because then, like, talking, I'm going to push the button where you use your head rather than my arms or my feet. It actually logically worked once you had that concept at the very beginning.
Which, to be fair, that actually was the thought process when the PlayStation came up with the controller in the first place. They wanted triangle to be kind of more of like the triangle, like X to be more of the jump because it's legs, and
Huh.
Circle was meant to be arms. The square was actually meant to be to bring up a map. Not that too many games followed that. And then triangle was kind of the menu headspace. Like the layout of the buttons of the PlayStation itself had that in mind, and they just kind of really showed it off in that opening sequence of Assassin's Creed 2.
I mean, even with the Xbox's evolution from like the SNES controller or the PlayStation controller, they put the triggers. And it's like, oh, this is how I fire the gun. In Halo, it's just like you pull the trigger to shoot the gun.
Very simple. But no, this is just, I don't know. One, I just love the style of the UI in this game, but it's also like I'm trying to find a good spot in combat where you're well, okay. First of all, the way you move. Like we were talking about parkour with Mirror's Edge. They're doing a good job in this one of doing it without needing to, use yellow paint.
Right.
They still have indicators like eagles and stuff when you're, there's a nest or something and stuff like that.
Part of the reason that it works in this is because almost everything is climbable.
Yes.
Yeah. Very rarely do you find a place you can't climb.
But for example, you see the guys when suddenly they're interactable with, your combos or takedowns, they're highlighted in white. In a way that is very unobtrusive in terms of being able to see what's going on, but also just making it very clear from a distance that, you have an enemy and stuff like that.
And they even talk about stuff like that in game. Like, it's just like, because you are technically in a computer simulation.
Yes. They lean hard on that fourth wall. Oh my goodness, my shins. Anyway,
What are you talking about? She broke his fall.
Poor girl.
Goodness, Assassin's Creed 2 was such a good game.
It was this game, especially after the first one, it was just such an upgrade.
Such a huge upgrade, yeah. Like the character, the being able to swim.
Like I enjoyed the first game, but I had some strong problems with it. And Assassin's Creed 2 felt like it's just, we played the first game, we found the problems, we fixed them, here you go.
Yeah.
AC2 raids. Sorry.
And then I feel like it kind of went downhill after that. But
yeah.
Assassin's Creed 2, so good.
AC2 defined what an Assassin's Creed game is for so many people. So many of the iconic things of Assassin's Creed don't come from one, they come from two.
Absolutely.
Well, that could be a video all by itself. Just the second game perfecting something.
I have so many ideas for that one.
Mm.
Oh, I have a lot. Especially, I have a whole big thing when the second game is a black sheep, but still defines the genre.
The second game either perfects or completely deviates from and tests all the limits.
But often the deviations are the most important parts that define the series going on. I love that.
I love Jack too.
Yeah.
And it is very different from the first game.
Castlevania 2.
Yep, Castlevania 2's on my list. It was a black sheep, but it spawned a whole genre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Heading back to something that's not technically turn-based, but the way I play it is FTL.
FTL, so good.
This kind of goes
It's got
back
a busy interface.
Very busy interface. Yet, because everything that's going on is so simple, because the issue is you can't make one interface, because what someone has on their ship, what ship they have, and all this other stuff is very modular. And so it actually really plays to that. And it's one of those games that in its simplicity, it gets really complicated. But I just love its UI. One, because it just feels like this is a game that you were playing on an old Macintosh. Like in the early 90s. Just
Yeah.
Yet somehow it feels sleek.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's something to be said for the fact that this game was released first for iPads, then for PC.
Was the iPad release
Really?
first? Really?
I
I
believe
thought
so.
iPad release came after.
I thought it was first. Maybe I have it backwards. Either way, it holds itself perfectly on an iPad. Like the game just plays
definitely.
great.
It's again what we talked about with Hearthstone. All the important information is simple enough that you can display everything on one screen, and it might be a little bit overwhelming to a brand new player, but it's totally intelligible.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those. It's meant to be a chaos simulator when you're in the middle of battle, and the number of times that I sit there and go, oh, where I lost someone because I forgot I opened up doors and then moved them back in and never shut the doors again. And thus I have condemned them to death.
And they will obediently go into the open space airlock zone.
Like, well,
just as you told them to.
The captain has decided that I die today. So I didn't mean to decide you would die today, if that's worth anything. But they can't respond because
your crew was loyal and you rewarded them with death.
I would like to once again, on the Kestrel, it's a short YouTube series that someone 3D animated like a crew. And the funny part is, like, it starts off as a comedy. It actually gets pretty like in depth and very interesting towards the end. But a lot of the early comedy is, it's clear their captain is just someone playing the game, but for them it's life and death.
That's great.
No, and so on the Kestrel, good video. You should check your series. Check it out. But I just like how simply it shows everything. And I don't feel like there's any important secret mechanics. There's some secrets in this game that are related to finding like another ship and stuff, but if you hover over the guns out of combat, they tell you what they do. They tell you what's your breach chance, high, low, whatever.
I love that the ship's name is Tuatha De Danann in that video.
What does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's from Celtic lore. It's basically the name of the high fae people.
Oh, okay. All the ships have a theme because there's like A, B, and C type for all of them, and within their type, they all have a theme. Like the human ships are all named after birds, hence the Kestrel. And so, this is, I believe this is the ship of the, oh my goodness, the computer
looks like
people.
an NG ship.
NG,
Yeah,
thank you. God, I couldn't think it.
Yeah, that's the NG ship. That's the one I usually play as, yeah.
Anyway, but no, and then the other game by Subset Games, also very simple interface.
Breach.
There we are. Into the Breach is a game that it shows you everything of what's going on. And the fact it has my number one now most requested feature for any strategy game, which is the undo button. It won't let you undo attacks or anything like that, but it lets you undo movement as long as you haven't committed to doing anything yet.
The Disgaea method, yeah.
Doesn't Fire Emblem do that as well?
Fire Emblem.
Well, Three Houses had a rewind.
Fire Emblem lets you do way, way, way more, undo way, way, way more. Nothing is sacred.
Yes.
But you only have a certain number of times you can activate it per mission.
Okay, I'm thinking something.
Because that was Three Houses. You had permission, you can undo move this many times.
Oh, that's not what I was talking about. I was just talking about like when you're inputting the character. You say move here, attack, and then but until you actually click attack, you can be like, no, go back, don't redo this.
Yeah. Yeah, with that's been the case the whole time of
Yes.
like until
And
you perform an action that directly interacts with another
yes.
character
Yeah.
or another layer.
Yes, and that's
Um,
more what I was talking about.
Yeah,
yeah.
this guy has that as well.
Or until you accidentally run into an enemy in Fog of War.
Yes, but which
The only time when movement is dangerous.
but I like that. I think it's
XCOM does not.
no, and that's I would really like that in XCOM for when I misclick.
Hmm.
But the other thing about Into the Breach, because the damage and health numbers are so low, it's very interesting how health is such a resource, for example. Because like you can block enemies from spawning, but it costs you. There's you lose a health to do that. And so your health is a resource that you're not only like is it oh you're probably going to spend it, it's you're expected to spend it. And it's all about knowing when to spend it that it matters. And it's
Going back to like UI, yeah. Into the Breach, its whole premise was designed around the idea that you know what your opponent's next move is going to be.
Yeah. And it down to
Slay
the
the Spire
order
style.
Yeah, down to the order where it tells you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like you can, if you hover over attack order right there, it'll show you the exact order everything will happen in. And so you are encouraged to do things in such a way that you use your enemy's attacks against them. Because you probably don't have enough damage to take care of them yourself.
And it's so cool that it then turns certain attacks that otherwise seem like, oh, it doesn't do damage. Why is that important? Like a push. There's a whole
Yeah.
there's a whole squad that doesn't do damage, if I remember right, and their whole thing is just pushing stuff around. But if you push enemies so that they attack each other or push them into hazards or off cliffs or whatnot, that's a perfectly valid strategy and way of clearing the map.
Yeah, it's just that's one of my favorite squads, to be honest, because you have a lot of movement options with them. The ability to toss enemies over your own head. This game, when you start playing it, makes you feel so clever. And most importantly, this game runs on an absolute potato. I wasted so many hours on this game when I was riding the train every day to work. I was playing a lot of Into the Breach on my crappy laptop because it could run it. Oh, it could run it.
I remember this. Oh, so a couple months ago, real quick, Fire Emblem released Shadow dropped a mobile game, Fire Emblem Shadows. It's mediocre at best. I would not touch into it. It tries to be a little bit social deduction, a little bit like active turn, like not full turn based, but like active turn based a little bit. Like, oh, you're activating your moves at a certain time when the actions vary, like almost like auto battler style.
Okay.
And there are people that are like, oh yeah, it's interesting in this way or that way or whatever from like the Fire Emblem community, and it's like, okay, first of all, the Fire Emblem community needs to get out and play more games, but second of all the things that people are praising that are like a little bit like interesting about this game, Into the Breach did 10 years ago. And Into the Breach did it far better. Play Into the Breach if any of this sounds vaguely interesting, is what I'm saying.
The other thing is just so weird, and this has nothing to do with UI. It's so weird to me that we still like Subset Games has only released these 2 freaking games, and both of them are masterpieces. And it's
they show up, they drop the perfect game in the genre, and then they leave without any explanation.
Yeah, you're just like, what are you guys working on? What are you doing?
Especially considering FTL was near the start of the indie roguelike era. It was like 2013, I want to say.
It's one of the ones that popularized it.
2012, maybe earlier.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting here like,
It was around the same time as Rogue Legacy. One sec.
yeah, it's
2012, September 14th, 2012.
they absolutely.
Did
It's
it
just
come out that long ago?
yep.
Oh man,
FTL
Oh
was.
gosh.
I didn't realize Rogue Legacy was that old too. My goodness.
Rogue Legacy release date. Rogue Legacy, June 2013. Okay, so it was before Rogue Legacy. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just one of these games that his. It's I don't know why. Hey, if maybe they're just sitting on their laurels and they're
Into the
not.
Breach 2018.
Yeah, maybe they're just
Granted,
sitting
I
on.
got one of the.
I mean, there's no
Granted,
reason you have
I
to.
Granted, you want to talk about old indie games? I got Uplink as an example.
I know what you're talking about, just because it makes it feel like you're on a computer.
Yeah, I mean this
I mean,
game.
you are
is,
on a computer, but you know what I mean.
This game is the interface game. Like it is pure interface. Don't know why, but like even like the startup menu, like everything, the way you create a new character is you put in a username and a password, and then as it boots up and you play as you put in the password, you go in there and it just starts booting up the computer, the entire game. And this game's from 2000. This game was from 2000. So, I think
been a
their
while.
Steam has added updates so that it can play on a modern resolution. Though it's kind of doesn't look great at high resolutions because it was designed for way back in the day. But
Yeah, a lot of people. No,
hold
not
on,
a
let
lot of
me
people were
take
sitting
it.
here clamoring for widescreen mode.
I have to add one to this after I'll finish talking, but you just reminded me of another game.
There's
But
a
like,
number of.
but yeah, this game is. I mean, everything's UI, and in fact, in game development, to learn UI, I kind of want to recreate pieces of this game because I feel like if you recreate this game, you will understand how to make a UI in every way possible. Because this game is you're at your computer. The UI, the game itself is the operating system of the computer you are using. And I don't know. I just fell in love with this game back in like 2001. Back then, where there was no Steam, I had to get this game. I had to mail order it from the UK, where it came
Wow.
from, and it came in a DVD case that had like a kind of a cardstock, where it had rows and columns, kind of like think of the Mega Man old passwords, right? And it would and for your CD key, it just kind of randomly asked you to, hey, what's on this row, this column, and that was
Wow, the
it
old
just kinda
school
challenged-
method.
Yep.
Yeah,
Piranha had something similar.
And so I had to mail order it. Came on this disc, and it was clearly not professionally made. It was very much in like old school indie, and but still, just this game, just the whole user interface. It's like I am using this, futuristic computer operating system, and I'm being a hacker, and I don't know. It was just such a cool, fun game, and there hasn't really been a game since that really captured the feeling because like there's been like Hack Me and others, and those ones are closer to visual novels than this being just kind of a sandbox hacker game. Because they're either like a visual novel.
Those two
or a
combined is a
puzzle game.
hilarious term. Sandbox
But
hacker
it's
game.
accurate.
Yeah.
It's accurate.
There's been a couple of
There's been one called Grey Hack, which was made to be a massive an MMO, or like not a massively multiplayer online version of Uplink. I haven't actually tried it, but that one might be the closest. But it's also, I don't know, playing online. I could see why people would like it, but if you just want a single player experience, Uplink's still the only thing that really has that still 26 years later.
There's been a number of like indie horror games that take a bit of the concept or that take like like using like an older computer and interfacing with that as
I've
the
yeah.
primary. And not even just horror games though. There's one that
Well,
I
that's what I have one in here on that
Oh,
note that I
okay.
really wanted to talk about after.
okay,
Let's just bring it up.
go for it.
So
This video
of
is
course it's
age
not.
restricted.
Why is it age restrict? Oh my gosh, it's a. It's called Emily is Away Too. It's a
It's fine.
weird little.
I got it working.
It's basically an AOL Instant Messenger simulator.
No,
right.
This is clearly
Yes.
EOL. I don't know what you're talking about.
I remember
but-
the one that's kind of made to look like internet in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just and you're just chatting on AIM with people, and it's interesting because the way that you like respond to them is it gives you multiple choice options, and then you just basically clackety clack whatever keys you want on the keyboard, and it types out a response in kid speak answering that. And I'm just like, it's clever because you feel like, okay, click enter. And it does this. It's this odd nostalgic feeling of, okay, I am in this headspace now, and it's basically just this guy who has a crush on a girl, and then he has a buddy that he chats with as well, and then another girl who kind of is a friend but kind of has a crush on him, and you interact with them, and it's just slice of life. And it has you uploading, or it has you selecting away messages. The sequel of it even has like it's on a fake Facebook, knockoff thing, and it'll like have you updating your profile. There are links to fake YouTube videos that are online. So it opens your browser, takes you to this fake YouTube site that looks like early 2000s YouTube, and
we'll play 5 stars,
and it'll play a video for you. It's like one of them is like, hey, I want you to listen to this song. I'm sharing this song that I like with you. And it's just like, this is what kids did. This is what I did. And it's just kind of trippy to play it. But
mm-hmm. Yeah, that is it's not a super common UI style, I guess, or game style, interface style, but games about operating through an older style UI.
Yeah, it's an oddly specific genre.
It really is.
I just put another one on here. The Root Trees Are Dead.
I've not heard of this one.
It's a indexing puzzle game, like indexing, like family history style indexing.
Okay.
What?
Like puzzle mystery game. Yeah, you want to scroll like a little bit in, let me find something. Yeah. It's like, okay, you're at your old computer navigating these websites. You have to type into the search box. Yeah, I know about this because they played it on Mostly Walking, Day 9's adventure game show, and apparently it was made by it was like the initial concept one were made by someone in his chat as like part of their like 30-day project things.
Okay.
And yeah, it's very interesting in terms of like, okay, so you're filling out this family tree because they're like, well, very start of the game, this is not a spoiler, very start of the game, they're like, okay, the root trees are dead. Like the big massive family who's like super important, owns a lot of stuff, and so now they want you to go in and do the family history because basically in lieu of a will, everyone who has a reasonable connection to the family can get a part of the inheritance.
Oh, this is wild.
So finding out all these different things, as well as you're doing this, uncovering mysteries and like possible conspiracies, all the weird trends of families of these ones went off and became musicians. These ones went off and, owned a farm, all these the different family history stories type thing that you would encounter if you were going deep indexing down a convoluted family line. Um, it's very fascinating, and it uses that aesthetic of like Windows 3.1 old, Netscape Explorer is what it's called right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's and when you were talking about, games that
Netscape.
use older style
Yeah. I mean,
UIs, like,
it's weird. This is basically Windows Simulator,
mhm.
but it's a game, and I
Yeah.
am intrigued. Like,
And there's a couple things where it's like, oh, you have to print something out. You click to print, and then you get up in the game and go over to your printer and
Is it one of the
pull the
old
item
school
out.
dot matrix, like really noisy printers?
it
I
better be.
don't remember. It might be. Um, there's also some stuff like, hey, you find a music track of the family members that became musicians, and they actually made a music track of it that you can then listen to. It's just full of those fun elements of that.
This is
And I
how I
think,
know I'm old, because this sounds awesome to me.
oh yeah, give it a check out. It's like, how much is it on Steam? I
20
don't know.
bucks it looks like, which is a bit more than I.
Wait for it to be on sale. It's probably
Yeah.
going to be on
I,
sale
I,
at some point in
I put it
time.
on my wish list. I'll wait for it to hit a sale.
Though this also kind of reminds me a bit of Papers, Please as well with its interface.
That's
A
a good
little
comparison.
bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
It's an
not on a
interesting
computer
thing.
in Papers, Please, but just your little desk space to do stuff.
Wonder if I can pull up if we wanted to keep talking about it or not, but yeah,
No.
it's fun things to do with the UI that make the game more special than if you were just
Well, I mean, the fact that the interface is just a basic computer, it suddenly feels immersive,
yeah.
because
Yeah, and that's what I
you're,
felt with Uplink. Yeah.
yeah, it's just I'm sitting here doing what it would feel like. It's kind of bizarre.
Hmm. Yeah, so you go back to your folder, you
I won't tell
check
you how
your
bizarre. How bizarre.
you back to the computer and then just
Oh man, look at that monitor, that giant CRT.
the big CRT, the 4x3 if you're lucky.
For the compy.
I want to play this. I'm so mad that I want to play this.
I'm sorry for giving you a new brain worm.
Well, this has been going on a while.
3.1 though.
Yeah, it's been going on a while. I see someone put some Age of Empires and Command and Conquer on that. Let's save that for in 2 weeks. We're talking about Age of Empires.
Ah, is that the?
Yeah, that'll be our deep dive in 2 weeks.
I
Okay.
raised it a little bit, and in case you didn't want to go over it then, I was like, I can.
Yeah,
put it
no,
up
because
now and
that'll
bring
be a
up
big
just my
part of it.
UI bit with it, but
No, because that's a big part of what made it work. So, yeah, we'll be talking about UI again. I mean, we'll be talking about it a lot because UI is a big.
Mhm.
It's weird just because UI is just interesting because a great UI can't really make a game, but a bad one can sink it.
Oh yeah.
But it can elevate good gameplay really well.
Yes.
Yeah, and what's interesting is the level of immersion it can have. Like I put Elite Dangerous on here.
Okay, let's end with Elite Dangerous then. Let's do that.
So like it's made to be all the different parts of your ship. You know, like the interface is like the holographic display of your ship itself. So
Okay.
it has a lot of information that's presented you. So you can see like your radar that's got kind of 3-dimensional representation. You can see your ship, its orientation, the shields, your target, what it's look like, what its orientation is. There's just a lot of information, and I kind of like that. I'm usually not a fan of the color orange, but this glowy orange effect I really like.
Well, with the black background especially.
Yeah, but as cool as the UI is, and like the chat up there is kind of like in like a little holographic screen, that appears, and when you can pull up other menus, which is kind of like your character turns his head and looks, and a holographic screen appears that you can menu through. Like there's one to the left, one to the right. But what really kicks the UI into overdrive is if you play this game in VR.
Oh,
How do you not get
in
motion
VR,
sick?
I do get motion sick.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Dane, I don't know. I'm tempted to try I don't know, maybe I almost wonder if I need to take some form of medicine or I don't know, I guess they have those bands that give an electrical pulse. I don't know, something like that. Been meaning to try that out, but though in this game the UI when you're in VR is the immersion in it's incredible. Like if you turn left, like I said, there's screens to the left and screens to the right. In VR, to open those up, you actually just turn your head and look, and they pop up. And they just pop up just because you looked where that UI would pop up.
Fun.
And also, if you look down, and this only happens in VR, you look down, and you can see your pilot's hand on the stick and throttle. And if you're playing it on a stick and throttle, you move your hand, you see the pilot's hand move with it, and because you're in VR and it's 1-to-1 right where your hand is doing stuff, it just kind of clicks in your head that's my hand. And it's crazy just to
where your brain actually does the link. That I've seen some interesting experiments with that.
Because it's I'm doing stuff with the joystick and I'm seeing what looks like my hand doing stuff with the joystick in the game through VR. And just the fact that you can just look out the windows you're in a vehicle and what's to the window to the right in VR? You just look out there. I mean, the menu might pop up on the right, but you can still see out that window. And then to close that menu, you just look forward again. It's really immersive. So even outside of VR, I think it's the whole HUD and how that's integrated with your ship is really cool. But VR just takes it to a whole nother level. And that's, I don't know, the UI with VR is part of what made me want to play VR, even though, yes, much nausea induced because.
Hey, I always come back. I always come back to the Penny Arcade about nausea in VR, where Gabe says to Tycho, "Yeah, I had to end up taking Dramamine," and it's does that make me sound weak? And he's like, "Dude, you took chemical sacrament to interface with the technology. That is the most cyberpunk thing that is possible."
Okay, well, I will take that. I will keep that comic in mind the next time I think about.
I just love the phrase VR. You took chemical sacrament to interface with a machine. It's the most cyberpunk thing on earth. And I'm just like, dang, that sounds so much cooler when you put it that way.
That sounds way cool when you put it that way. Holy cow. Yeah.
But anyway, all right. This has been a fun discussion.
It has been.
Mithril, would you like to promote your stuff?
Sure. I haven't really made a video in the last couple months. YouTube.com/MithrilZenith. I make game design discussion videos overall. If you want to watch a channel that talks specifically about UI and UX and a lot of this stuff, Design Doc is a fun YouTube channel. Talks about a lot of this stuff, has a series, Good Design, Bad Design, where it goes specifically after UI elements, what works, what doesn't, stuff like that. Yeah.
All right. Bagginses.
I've mentioned a couple times I'm playing Pragmata right now, loving it. It's so freaking wholesome, but also good combat and stuff as well. And so it's a really fun game.
Yeah, that was the part.
That
was the part I was iffy on just looking at it.
What? The combat's fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was iffy on it when I saw it, but just seeing how much you're enjoying it, I was just like, man, okay, so it seems to work.
Yeah, it actually works very well. And people on the internet have been weird about it, but honestly, it's just a good, fun, wholesome game.
All right. Looney.
Well, I'll promote Lizzie and Lizzie Petrichor on Twitch, where she does shiny hunting, because I feel like if I don't, I will get grief about it.
Yeah, you will.
I'd forgotten, but now I'll remember, so thank you.
And
you can't
also
grief him
I've
for it
been-
before he gets a chance.
And I guess I'll just shout out Metaphor. I did finally beat it. It's a good game. It's got that Persona goodness, and it's got way more customability than any of the Persona games, and that's something I really like about it as well. So I like a lot of the themes. I like that it's more high fantasy than Persona, and I like the extra customability you have of how to mix and match your archetypes, your Persona. Good game.
Cool.
Okay. And you can find me twitch.tv/splicestream, where we're getting back into XCOM. We just TPK'd last week because the mod that I had that brought new mobs into it, I should have read the reviews because it was sending mobs with more movement than the melee units and 2 armor and stuff in the 3rd mission, and I couldn't keep up with that. That was way too hard. I should have definitely read mod reviews. So we'll try again. To not kill people.
Never trust mods.
What? It's not like I have over 600 mods on that game.
That's too many. You should have no more than 550.
Why?
But that's all that, huh?
Why?
Well, because without that, because if you have that many, I think we overlevel.